Hey guys, welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Today we're going to talk about a leak of information from GM showing some of the actual options for the C8 mid-engine Corvette. Alright, so a moment all of us have been waiting for. The C8 mid-engine Corvette has finally got some actual details from GM saying what the options are for this car. Now, someone posted this on a couple different Corvette forums and it was promptly taken down on every one of them. So the moderators came in and actually deleted the thread, deleted the pictures, and got rid of any evidence that it ever existed. There was some debate whether or not this was legit, whether or not this was really from GM, but after the moderators deleted it as fast as they did, it kind of cleared it up. This is very likely directly from GM and actually had stamped on the image itself, Chevrolet Global Connect, which for any of you who don't know, that is one of the systems that GM actually uses to order cars from the actual dealership. So within the Global Connect website, it allows you to choose what options you want, what color you want, everything about the car to make it your own. So seeing this with the Global Connect stamped on it tells me odds are very good this was legit. With how fast the moderators also pulled them down from every one of the sites, again, telling me it is again legit. Now, of course, before it got pulled down, we had a bunch of people actually take notes off of the images. Some of them even saved the images. As of right now, when I'm recording this, I do not have one of those images, but I have a couple different feelers put out there. I'm trying to get the images for you guys so I can put them in this video here to show you. But I do have a good bit of information that people pulled off of those images, and we're going to go over those right now. So on the image, it clarified. We're going to get 19-inch rims up front, 20-inch rims in the back, just like the C7 Corvette. It's the same setup. The only difference is the front 19-inch rims are going to be 245 series wide, and the rear 20-inch rims are going to be a 305 series wide. Those are about on par for the size of the C7 Stingray Corvette. The rears are a little bit wider and the fronts are the same size. So other than the tires, we have a bunch of other information here to discuss. So one of the other notable options in this car was a 12-inch digital gauge cluster. And it actually goes on to say that it was a fully customizable digital gauge cluster. Now, this obviously is referring to the screen that is right where your typical speedometer would be. This is going to allow you to customize what information's on the screen, kind of similar to the C7 where you have a couple different layouts as far as like touring, sport, track. It's going to give you that kind of adjustability, but it's 4 inches bigger. And there's rumors that it is at least 720p HD. For comparison, the one in the C7 is 480p, so it's not an HD display. This one would be HD, which makes sense considering one of the other things that is also noted on this option sheet was an HD backup camera. Again, the backup camera we have in the C7 was not HD, obviously not the clearest thing on the planet when you're actually looking to back up. But a lot of the newer cars are now coming with full HD backup cameras, and this screen is obviously going to have to be compatible with those. Another option, not real exciting here, but it had fully adjustable power seats, lumbar and bolsters included, which again, very similar to the C7. We had the airbags that adjust the bolsters, so nothing earth-shattering there. But one of the options it offered was the Targa Top. This car is definitely going to have a Targa Top option, and it comes with a storage bag. Now, the storage bag option kind of makes me feel a little leery about this because it kind of seems like they're offering that with the car as a way of saying, yeah, there's not going to be room for this in the actual car to store it once you remove it. Now, of course, they could just be offering it as a secondary style of storage, but I'm not 100% sure yet. With the mid-engine kind of reducing some of the cargo space, maybe the Targa Top is not going to be storable in the car, but time will tell. The fact that we're getting a Targa Top is exciting all on its own. The next option is one that I wished the C7 would have had, and it's something that seems kind of small, but in the end, it's huge, and that is power folding mirrors. I always thought this was an option that the C7 needed because pulling into a tight garage space or just when you're washing your car, you want to put those mirrors in. pressing a button to have them fold in is hugely convenient. And I love the fact that this car would include that. It really just puts it to that next level as far as I'm concerned. There was also listed colored seat belts, which is pretty cool. The C7 offered this later in its generation, and it just gave us more interior color options and kind of added flair to the interior. It was really a neat option. I would love to do it on my C7, but it actually takes a lot of work to swap those out. So I'm glad to see these offered right off the bat for this car. Another really big one, a front end lift. The option was actually on the sheet showing a front end lift as being available, and that is amazing. That will definitely help those people out there that have this car riding too low, scraping and going in and out of your driveway. I know for me personally, the C7 sits low enough that I really have to watch pulling out of my driveway. This kind of option is just fantastic for that. One of the other options, of course, was a painted front and rear badge. So odds are good they're going to offer these in chrome as well as carbon flash paint, again, just like they did with the C7. It was also offered with a 14 speaker Bose sound system. That's incredible, considering the Zeus 6 that I currently have has a 10 speaker Bose sound system, and I think it's one of the best sounding stock audio systems I've heard yet. So add another 4 speakers, it's going to sound amazing inside of that mid-engine car cabin. It's going to have a front vision camera available. That, of course, again, was offered in the later C7 years to kind of help again with scraping that front lip. In this case, it would definitely help with the use of that front end lift. It's also going to have blind spot monitors as an option. I thought from the very beginning the C7 should have something like that. The Corvettes in general are hard enough to see out of as it is. So having an option like this is definitely fantastic. It really gives you that extra layer of protection, and it kind of helps as far as I'm concerned with adding that extra technology to really push the car into that supercar territory. Now, of course, this car was optioned out in these images as a 3LT, so pretty much all of these options are going to be offered in the upmost trim package. This isn't necessarily something you're going to get stock on the 1LT. These are things you may have to pick and choose, but still pretty cool to see some of these options coming out. Now, listed on the actual sheet was also what the engine was going to be, and it was listed fairly generically as a 6.2 liter LT2. So I think we may be getting just a slightly updated version of the LT1 from the Stingrays. There was also various different suede options for the seats, the shifter, the steering wheel. Everything was optioned out with a suede option. There was also options for the seats. You had your standard seats or the upgraded ones known as the GT2. If I had to guess, the leaked shots we saw of the interior recently showing what I always thought was really neat looking seats, those were probably the GT2 seats because they looked a lot like the competition style seats in the current C7 generation. And odds are good they're going to stay with something more sporty like that with the higher end seat. The option sheet had an 8-speed dual clutch transmission offered with no option for a manual transmission at all anywhere. And it was said to come with a 3.80 gear set in the rear end. In this option sheet, it said something about 6 different roof options. Now this could be, of course, convertible style, target top, but it also could be a difference in carbon fiber, partially painted, carbon flash, fully painted, stuff like that. So it's unclear what exactly they meant by that, but GM seems to definitely be leaving the roof option up to us. So if we're offered 6 different ones, we're going to be able to pick it however we want. Another interior option that was offered was a fully red interior. So in the spy shots we saw earlier showing the interior pictures, a lot of the interior was white. And in this case, I believe you can actually customize that to be red. I thought in those spy shots that the white really looked out of place and there was way too much of it in there. So that's still to be seen, but interesting that they're offering those colors right off the bat, just like they did with the C7. We're going to have all kinds of colors and customizations for the interior, which is really awesome. Now the colors that were listed, the exterior colors for this car. Now those by themselves, those are all options that are currently offered for the C7 as well. But there was one other option for exterior color, and that was called Zeus Bronze. That is definitely a huge removal from Corvette's typical color scheme. This is an awesome looking color. They offer it on a certain Cadillac, and it's definitely different. It's pretty cool to see GM stepping outside their comfort zone with the color combinations here. I doubt that this is going to be all the colors were offered. These were the only ones that were shown on that list though. Now, one thing that was not on this list was price. Nowhere on here did it say anything about how much these options cost, what the cost of the car was going to start at, how much it was at the end of this customization. So what do you guys think? On this list, which one of these options is your favorite? Honestly, I'm kind of torn between the power folding mirrors and the front end lift. I love the front end lift option. That is going to be amazing for a car that sits low. This was definitely a surprise. I didn't think we were going to get anything like this soon, but this has really given us a glimpse at the options offered for this C8. Now, of course, this is just the base model C8. We are going to have further models that are coming after this, and we'll probably have even further options. Even the base model will probably have more options than this. This was just what was pictured. But it really gives us a good, clear image of some of the higher end, more modern technology we're going to get in this car. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Give me a big thumbs up if you liked what you saw. Comment down below. Let me know what your favorite option listed here was and what you think of this car so far. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet. And as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.